Hello students and welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be learning about comparing numbers. In the previous videos, we were actually learning about place values up till 5-digit numbers and we discussed कि किस तरह different numbers की different place है और different values है, right? We learned that how to do the expanded form of those values. We learned how to write them in words. And now in this video, we are going to use a lot of numbers in which we are going to compare them to each other. But before we start, we should know about some of the basic operation, yeah, basic operators that are used to compare these numbers. So the first thing that comes to mind is if we have to show that there are two numbers. For example, I have number 2 and I have number 4 over here, right? Now I have to compare these two numbers and I have to tell which one is the greater one, or I can say which one is the smaller one, or whether it's equal or not, right? So in this case हम कह सकते हैं 2 is actually less and the 4 is greater. But how do we write it in this box? How do we represent the numbers that these numbers are actually greater or lesser? So for those, we use these operators, and that are for greater, we use this sign, and for less than, we use the other sign. You can see over here, it looks like a V, right? Acha ji. And we have another sign that says equal to. Equal to means the two numbers are equal to each other. I'm going to show some of the examples in which we are going to place those numbers that we are comparing to each other in a place value chart, and then we are going to discuss कि कौन सा number greater है या कौन सा number less है. So before we go to the next slide, let's see कि 2 is whether less than 4 or is it greater than 4. So in this case, we all know that 2 is actually less than 4. Just remember, जिस side पर भी greater number होगा, the open side will be shown over there. Alright, this open side shows that the number is greater on this side. ठीक है, इस side पे number greater है. In this case, if this side is opening the showing the opening side, that means जो number इस side पर होगा, it's going to be the greater number. Okay, तो इस तरह हम ये यूज करके रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं कि कौन सा नंबर ग्रेटर है, कौन सा नंबर स्मॉलर है और कौन सा इक्वल टू है. Let's move to the next slide. First of all, I'm going to use 3-digit numbers, then we are going to practice on 4-digit numbers, and then so on. All right, for the example of 3-digit numbers, I'm writing over here number 238. Now we have to compare it with the number 634. Let's place both of these number in this place value chart. सबसे पहले I'm going to use this number and I'll place it over here. 238. Alright, 8 will go in 1's value, 3 will go at 10's value, and 2 will go in 100's value. Likewise, 634, that is 634, will be written as 4 will go at 1's value, 3 will go at 10's value, and 6 will go at 100's value. Now when we are comparing the numbers, we should keep in mind कि जो भी सबसे बड़ा place value होगा उसके अंदर, we are gonna compare those numbers to each other. If those two numbers are equal to each other, then we are gonna move to the next number, that is tens. अगर वो नंबर भी एक दूसरे के साथ इक्वल है, जैसे in this case 3 and 3 is equal, then we have to move on to the ones number and then we have to compare ones. But in this case, in this example, you can look कि hundreds में ही आपको difference पता चल जाता है, that 2 is actually smaller than 6. So that means कि हम यहाँ क्या लिखेंगे, हम यहाँ पे कौन सा साइन यूज करेंगे? Yes, exactly the sign that is of this one that shows कि जो open side है वो greater side की तरफ है and the closed side is on the smaller side. That means 238 is actually smaller than 634. I used the simplest example for you to understand this concept. Now let's move on to the next example that shows 4-digit numbers. 7, 8, 9, 0, and we have to compare it with the number 6017. Alright, let's place it real quickly in the chart. 7106, and we'll place this number over here, that is 0987. Right, now we'll look at thousands, because 1000 is the biggest place value right now. और इसमें हम देखते हैं कि 6 बड़ा है या 7. Obviously the 7 is the biggest one, so we'll write over here that 7890 is the bigger one. Right, तो हम इसको क्या करेंगे, हम इसके लिए ये वाला साइन शो करेंगे. Alright, the open side is at the biggest number and the smallest side is at the smaller number. The closed side is at the smaller number and the open side is at the biggest number. So that means 7890 is actually bigger than 6017. Okay, let's move to another example in which we are going to use 5-digit numbers to identify which number is the biggest and which is the smallest. Okay, so take the example 2, 3, 7, 6, 5, and we have to compare this with the number 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Alright, let's put this number first over here, and let's start with the ones. So we'll write over here 5, tens में आएगा 6, then 7, then 3, then 2. Likewise, I'm going to put this number to the second box on the place value chart. That is 9, 8, 7, 2, 1. Alright, so we'll compare the biggest place value right now. So हम biggest place value में हमारे पास कौन सा number है, 10,000. And if we compare it, तो हमें पता चलता है कि 2 is actually bigger than 1. We don't need to read the next readings because the biggest place value is already showing the answer. So that means 23,765 is the bigger one. Now, which operator am I going to put it over here? It's actually the one that shows the opening side, like this. Alright, so there are some of the examples that will show that the number are both same. For example, if I write over here 293 and there's going to be a box and then they say 293. In this case, both of the numbers are similar, so that means I'm going to put the equal to sign. That means this side is equals to this side because they are both the same. That's it for this video. I'll join you guys again in the next one.